Welcome to Merundoi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carter. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. I want to thank you guys for coming.
CECIL is fine, ANIL.
And James, we're village people, man.
All right. I was just paying respect to my elders.
It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I was glad to get out of the house for a bit. Catch this fresh air outside Boston's restaurant.
This coconut water is so refreshing.
It's the best.
All right. So, as not to waste your time, let me get right into it. I think we need to do something in Merundoi concerning these young men. I know there was some kind of men's group before, but I think it's time for we to restart something.
Oh, what prompted this?
I realize that a lot of young men ain't got no sort of guidance. And if we want to curb certain things like gender-based violence, sexual abuse, and such, in Merundoi, we need some sort of intervention for male role models.
Sounds like an excellent idea, Anil. I would love to get involved.
Me too. As one of the oldest men in Merundoi, I do believe that my wisdom and knowledge would be beneficial to the young ones.
All right, good. I talked to Daddy too, but he couldn't make it this afternoon. But he's on board. And I figure other men in Merundoi would also like to get involved.
So how are we going to do this? Put out a call to men, have a general meeting?
Well, we still got to bear in mind that we deal with COVID-19. So, I was thinking a big open space like the community center ground where people could properly physical distance and so forth and follow the other COVID guidelines might be a good place to call a meeting.
I think that will work.
So we just put out a general call to men in Merundoi?
Yes. And then we could propose the idea and find out who is willing to mentor and who needs help.
Excellent. I love it.
Well, I know a young man who could benefit from this. Alonzo Thomas.
Well, you can understand he's part of the reason I decided we need to do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know that I was involved with Benicio for a short while, right? I mean, it was a mistake and it nearly ended my marriage.
We've all had our struggles and made our mistakes. None of us is perfect.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, she sparked this idea in me because of what she going through with Alonzo.
You know, I talked to that young man. I begged him to sort himself out.
Seems like young Alonzo is in trouble.
He is, and doesn't seem to be listening to anyone.
Yeah. So somebody like we need to pull in for fitness quick. I worried because Benicio is pregnant and she really stressed out.
So she doesn't have a support system in Merundoi? Other women she can talk to?
Well, so far, I know that Ignatius has been helpful.
Yeah, because he's the one who asked me to speak to Alonzo.
Yeah, but other than that, she don't really know anybody else in the village. And her family live in other parts of the country.
I see.
Well, this sounds urgent.
You know what would be helpful also? If women could also start a group for women. I'm sure June would love to take up the challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Many young women get involved with these young men and, well, like the young men, some of them are also coming from broken homes or grew up seeing abuse. No confidence in themselves. And so when they end up in this abusive situation now, it's hard for them to get out.
That just reinforces the need for intervention. We need to start this work immediately.
All right, good. So maybe we could put out the notice and have the first meeting in a few days.
Yes, we could go around the village with a loudspeaker, and I would talk to June about doing something for the women.
Wonderful.
Thank you, James. Thank you, CECIL. It really means a lot that you agreed to do that.
You have been listening to today's episode of Merundoi.